the best I could say for Martin Luther King is, to me, he's kind of done the ultimate thing, a thing that most Americans thought would never be possible. And we can see it every day through Barack Obama.
Happy New Year and good evening. I'm Andre Bohannon, your host, and tonight we have a very special show in memory of an individual that has touched all of our lives. Tonight we're going to focus on Dr. Martin Luther King and hear comments as well as some of the events that we in Peoria will be involved in commemoration of his birthday. As you can see, I have a special guest, Dr. Rita Ali. Rita, welcome to CAPtions.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Well, it's always great to see you and to have you on our show, and particularly tonight because from what I have known throughout the years and anticipating for this coming year, you are involved in a very important event here in Peoria.
Yes.
You're here to talk about a march and a commemoration event that we have here in Peoria, as we have across the country in many cities.
Yes.
Can you share with our viewers this special event that you particularly are involved in?
Absolutely. On Monday, January the 16th, we'll celebrate the Martin Luther King federal holiday. And as we usually do in Peoria, we will kick it off with a Freedom March. Following the luncheon at City Hall, we'll have the Martin Luther King Freedom March, and we'll depart from Bradley University, the Romeo B. Garrett Center there, where we all assemble. We usually have several hundred people that come out. They bring their banners. Sometimes they make a sign from home, but if they don't, we have paper and poster board where they can make their own sign and participate in the march.
How many years now has it been that you have been in charge of this march?
Well, the march has been around for 26 years. It was actually, it was actually started by Gary Moore and Robin Berry. I participated. I wasn't able to participate that very first year.
Well, that's probably because you were too young. You couldn't have been no more than 5 or 6, 26 years ago.
I wish you were right. I wish that was true. But I think it was the second or the third year I was able to join in and got involved in the planning of both the march and the commemorative service that follows the march. So probably for the last, 15 years, I've been the chair of the committee that has organized the march and the commemorative service.
Has the site been selected for the commemorative service?
Yes, we will be at Zion Baptist Church.
Zion Baptist.
Yes, Zion and its pastor, Reverend Samuel Duran, have been gracious enough to offer to host the event this year.
Fantastic, fantastic.
And you know that church is located on Dr. Martin Luther King Drive.
Yes.
And it's the site of the very first march that we had. We marched from the Garrett Center at Bradley to Zion Baptist that very first year.
At that service, is that where you recognize some of the individuals who have done some outstanding things as far as living and contributing as Dr. Martin Luther King would have wanted us to do as far as individuals are concerned? Yes,
Andre, and you've been one of our prior recipients of the Martin Luther King Commemorative Service and Leadership Award. We've had, we give out Drum Major Awards, and we give out the Martin Luther King Commemorative Service Leadership Award every year, and that's usually kind of the highlight of the event. We wait till the very end of the service to recognize local individuals who have made contributions similar to Dr. King, but have made contributions directly in our community.
Well, I think that is great, and I was watching TV the other day, and they were talking about Time magazine, and every year they normally pick a person of the year. The person of the year this year is a person, a demonstrator, a person, a protester.
Exactly.
And this whole event is in commemoration of the people who protested and demonstrated. And even though the year is 2011 and Dr. King left us in 1968, the need for that type of activity is as great today. Some people feel that the racial issue is no longer an issue because we have a black president. Well, I for one feel that it was much greater than electing a black president, and in fact the election of a black president has kind of created as much, if not more, racism in terms of the kinds of things that are going on in our country, as well as, from what I've understood, many of the things that have been said or attempted against President Obama. And you know, I think that the march is important, and I certainly hope that our community joins in on that event. If they can't make the march, at least make the service at the church.
Yes, and I'm glad that you feel that way. I think that many others in our community feel that way. I was really pleased that Time recognized the protester. We wouldn't be where we are without protests that have taken place over time. We know that racial disparities and other disparities, the disparities between the haves and the have-nots, the poor and the rich, are great today in our community. So we have to continue to march for equality, and we have to continue to march for freedom, because all people still are not really free in the sense that, you know, we want to have greater opportunity and equality for everyone.
In my mind, his dream in many ways is still a dream, and the promise, unfortunately, still is in many ways still a promise that has not really been filled. And I think that through the efforts of you and many others in our community who've joined in with you in putting on this event, as well as all the other things, is hats off to you. Because we need that. But even more important than needing it that day, we need it 365 days a year.
Absolutely.
We shouldn't just look at this as an event. We come and we celebrate and we do what we do and then go back to living our lives as we have in the past, which in many cases hasn't been positive. But that we live our lives in accordance to what he wanted, and that is to join hands and let all the differences disappear and let our similarities strengthen us as a people, as a community, as a nation, and as a world.
Yes, that's beautiful, Andre. We really want to encourage young people to come out too. As you know, some of us are getting older, and we're the ones who are kind of in charge of organizing events like this, but it's time now to be able to pass some of that responsibility on to some younger people to assume responsibility from year to year. And we want to be able to make that transition.
Right. Well, in tonight's show, we're going to be having some individuals from your institution, ICC, and again, I want to commend you on the great job that you were doing, and another young man by the name of Akbera Bryson, in terms of reaching out to young folk, and particularly young men, and not only giving them an opportunity of education, which was another thing Dr. Martin Luther King was concerned about, was equal opportunities as far as education, but to see to it that that environment is a positive one, and that we retain. The retention is just as important as the reading, writing, and arithmetic. That's the fourth R. And in fact, that is your responsibility as the diversity director, is to see to it that the ICC reflects our community, our nation, and provides opportunities for individuals to reach their full potential.
Yes, I'm very pleased to be a part of an organization that has that commitment to diversity, as ICC does. ICC is actually one of the co-sponsors of the event, the march and the commemorative service, along with Bradley University, you know, the Zion Baptist Church, the African American firefighters, and the AKAs are all sponsors each year. So it takes more than one person, it takes more than one committee to really bring things together that are important like this for our community.
Right. It takes the collaboration, and I've always pointed out on various programs that Peoria is blessed to have many of the individuals as well as organizations and agencies, but even more blessed the fact that they come together in vital and needed and necessary times. And I just want to again thank you for being on our show. I am getting cues that it's time to take a break. And again, I will be looking forward to seeing you that day.
Thank you.
As well as I am always glad to see you. And I wish you well for the coming year.
Thank you,
and
my friend.
look forward to having you to come on our show any and every time you have a need to inform our community
Thank
of
you. I
some
look
things
forward
that will
to
be beneficial.
Thank you, Andre.
We're taking a break, and please stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Mike Banks, founder of CAPtions, some 36 years ago. It seems like it was just yesterday. I want you to be sure to catch our special feature where we were on location at the Illinois Association for Community Action Agencies Winter Conference. We took an in-depth look at the struggles confronting your community action agency. You be there. See ya.
Welcome back, and we're going to continue our discussion about the celebration of Martin Luther King. And as you can see, I have a special guest with me, Alma Brown, who will be talking with me about a special event that she's a part of. And hopefully you'll also be a part of it and will support it. Alma, what is the event that you have been a part of in our community here with Martin Luther King?
Well, this year we'll be celebrating our 20th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration Luncheon.
Oh, wow, 20
Yes,
years.
20
okay.
years. You probably remember how you were our very first speaker.
That's what I've been told. I can't hardly remember yesterday. Let's go 20 years ago, but I do remember that event.
Yes, started out at the Mark Twain Hotel, and it's grown from, we planned something in 4 weeks and had you as our speaker and 200 people, and we've had upwards of 2,500 people now that we're at the Peoria Civic Center. But it will be held on the 16th of January.
Okay.
Doors open at 11 o'clock, luncheon begins at noon, and tickets are $40 per person, tables of 10, 400. If people want tickets, they can call me at 494-8554.
Well, I'm so glad that you have found a speaker. I know this year there was some difficulty in being able to nail down a speaker, but I'm glad that we had one, because there are a number of people who are coming to this event not just to hear the speaker, but in honor of Martin Luther King and what he stood for and what he tried to bring America to, which was the full promise in terms of the liberties and the justice for all. And as you pointed out, I remember when we were at the Mark Twain, I think we had maybe a couple hundred people, and now you are a couple of thousand people. And not only have you received a lot of support from the total community, black and white, but also from a number of the businesses who have used that day to honor Martin Luther King. In fact, when I spoke, there was still a controversy. In fact, there was no Martin Luther King federal holiday at that point. And I think that was part of what I had talked about, was the fact that we need as a country to be supportive and to support the efforts that were being made in Congress at that time to make a holiday. And our community certainly has been in a leadership way in terms of the private sector and the public sector. In most cases, we have recognized it as not only a holiday, but as a day that we come together in honor of Martin Luther King.
Exactly. That's what the day's about. It's about taking time, pausing, remember what Dr. King did for us. Taking the time to fellowship and come together. And that's what the luncheon has brought about. It's become such a diverse audience, and that's what I love about it, because that's what Martin Luther King was about. He was about being there for everyone. It didn't matter what your race was. He linked arms with everyone when he was out there working and marching, and we wanted to put something together to complement